Good morning, everyone, and welcome to News in Motion. Today is Tuesday, May 23rd, 2023. Today we have That's Happening Tuesday. As you're coming into the room, whether you're joining us live here on Facebook or YouTube, if you're an audio or podcast listeners, we just want to say thank you for turning your dials to Hot 97 News in Motion this morning as you're getting your coffee, maybe dropping the kiddos off into the school place. I almost said workplace, or just grabbing a few groceries right now. I just want to say thank you for tuning in. If you're watching the replay with us in the afternoon, the evening, or near the nighttime, we just want to say thank you for watching. We also have Devontae Goins, who will be joining us this morning with his Unbossed special report, along with, of course, Miss Gail Dudley with all of her headline news and reporting as well. And I want to give a special prayer for those Lakers fans. Yeah, last night, Kenny Stanley called it. Last night, the Fat Lady sung. She gave an encore. The crowd wanted more, and she came out on stage one more time because the Los Angeles Lakers got swept. And for the first time in franchise history, the Denver Nuggets will be competing for the NBA championship. I'm going to need the Miami Heat to finish business with Boston so that way Jimmy Butler can get his ring. But with that being said, y'all know what we do here. Let's get this news in motion.
I must say, everyone, that we do have the best sports reporter out there, Kenny Stanley. He did call it. I see my brother on here, Louis Pryor III, and he's a Laker fan. I haven't even reached out to my son yet. He's a Laker fan. I'm like, the Lakers did not do anything in this round. So I'm with him. All our prayers go out to you, Laker fans. With that being said, I see Shirley Nicholson on here. I see Dr. Antoinette on here. I see Marion Jackson, Robert Holman, Deborah Johnson, Lori Williams Wallace, Camille Jones, Adrian, my brother again, Liz Pryor, Queen Sparkle. I know that's Lexi out there coming in here. Tracy Burrs, Patricia Lyles, and more are in here. Good morning to all you. Fred Jones, Kim Edmondson. Y'all, I like it. Y'all on that YouTube. Keep going to that YouTube. I'm trying to advance to see who else is on here. Let's see. Deborah Johnson says LeBron is still the all-time baller. Jeffrey Allen James, good morning to you. I'm seeing you all coming in here on several platforms. We also have the podcast platform, so we want to say good morning to you. If you are tuning in live, hey, we're getting ready to throw down in some news this morning. I see you, Pastor Alex Williams. Thank you and your wife again for turning me on to that special last week. I greatly appreciate that. We have Devontae Goins going to come join us in a little bit. And I want to give a shout out to Misha. I don't know if she's on here yet, but Misha, thank you. After the show, Isaiah and I always go through and see what we need to change. We look at the algorithm and things like that. And Misha had a great idea. So we're going to slowly start incorporating some of that. And we are always open to much of what you all are saying. I see you, Yvonne Gardner. So we want to just put that out there. So thank you, Misha. And I'll get to more of that in a few moments. I see you, Cassandra. What's up? Y'all, today is Tuesday. It's May the 23rd, 2023. I am your host, Gail Dudley. Welcome everyone who's tuning in live. If you're happen to catch the replay, thank you for allowing me to spend a portion of your day with you. Just like 30 minutes or so. So just thank you. Graduation shout out. I don't see Judy Neal on here quite yet. Hester Jackson, good morning to you. But she wants to give a shout out to her grandson, Justin Alexander Neal, graduating from C.E. King High School in Humble, Texas. He is headed to Texas State University, majoring in kinesiology. I got to make sure I said it real slow, which is a study of motion. I had to look that up and see what it meant. I was like, I never heard of this. For some reason, I'm just missing it. But I love that. So he's studying a study of motion. So I just wanted to, when I saw that too, study of motion, I said, news in motion, ministry in motion. He gets it. He gets it. So again, shout out to Justin Alexander Neal, graduating from C.E. King High School in Humble, Texas. So congratulations to you. If you still have graduates you want to put out here, just let us know. We will get those taken care of sooner than later. We will. All right. In the news, Kim Edmondson says, congratulations, graduates. In the news, Council on Foreign Affairs, real quick, growing numbers of Afghans seek to reach the U.S. through the southern border. Y'all, since right about 2022, more than 3,600 Afghans have crossed the jungle border between Colombia and Panama on their journey north. This is the New York Times sharing all of this information. I love their details and their reporting. Many have partnered with Western forces in Afghanistan before fleeing the country after the Taliban took over in 2021. So, y'all, that is happening. It's interesting. People want to blame different administration. I don't care what administration you're in or who it is, including the former guy. You can't just go and say, hey, can't keep walking, and they're far away, but you know they're headed that way. You can't go into someone else's territory and tell them they can't come the way to the U.S. So there's something more to that. Lori said, that's awesome. I studied dance therapy. There you go. There it is. What's up, Latrice Jones? All right, y'all. The U.S. State Department spokesperson in Washington is deeply troubled. This is AP reporting by Israel's move to repopulate the outposts of Hamish, where Jewish settlements were dismantled in 2005. The United States and most other countries consider Israeli settlements in the occupied West Bank to be illegal. So just some other information so you know what's going on, because it all connects somewhere, some way, shape, or form. Y'all, the European Union has fined, this is coming out of Financial Times, Facebook owner Meta nearly $1.5 billion for violating data. I'm going to give more information on that in a little bit. I see you, Shardinia. Good morning to you. And then, y'all, on yesterday, South Carolina Senator Tim Scott, we reported last week that he filed papers, but he has now officially announced his 2024 campaign to run for president. He enters the Republican primary field after raising about $22 million. So that's happening as well. And y'all, we have another senator that's resigning who will not seek re-election. Let me say it that way. Senator Tom Carper announced on yesterday he will not seek another term, opening a seat in Delaware next year. Representative Lisa Blunt of Rochester is the favorite to replace him. Senator Thomas currently chairs the Senate Environment and Public Works Committee, so his departure will open up that as well. So there's a lot of moving parts here. People are going from the House to running for the Senate, which will open up seats in the House. We have to pay attention. Things on the state level, people are then running for national level. There's a whole lot of moving pieces and parts, so we have to stay in the know with that. Y'all, the Dallas Morning News is reporting that the Texas House passed the bill to end diversity, equity, and inclusion offices in higher education. We cannot sleep on this, y'all. Stay woke, as they say. But we cannot sleep on this. There's a lot that's happening even with that. When you start seeing that that a state house or state senate pass bills to end diversity, equity, and inclusion, especially when we're talking about higher education, pay attention, because all of these things are connecting. All these things are trickling down. What's happening in one state is moving over to the next state, and it's becoming too much noise. So we have to get a handle on it. We have to start talking about it. We cannot ignore this type of news. Y'all, in an 83-62 vote, and again, it was partisan lines, the Texas House passed a bill on yesterday to eliminate diversity, equity, and inclusion, that's DEI offices and programs from the state public colleges and universities. Now, the bill returns to its author, which is Senator Brandon Crichton, Republican, who will enter who will either concur or disagree with the House's version. If the Senate concurs, the bill will head to Governor Greg Abbott's desk to be signed, and people believe he will sign it and it will become law. So in the state of Texas, we have to pay attention. They're still banning books. They're still trying to rewrite history. They're still trying to get rid of diversity. A lot is happening. We have to pay attention. I'm going to go back to my soapbox, y'all. Town halls are important. They are extremely important. In other news, when we're talking about politics, Nebraska governor signed the combined anti-trans and anti-abortion bill into law. Yes, y'all. Governor Jim Pillen, Republican, signed a bill that both limits gender-affirming care for young people. I am stuck on this. I don't know why we want to take away health care and care for our young people. I don't care what it's about. We have to stop doing this, y'all. We need to sound the alarm on things like this. These are our babies. These are our children that this is happening to. And it both limits gender affirming care for young people and outlaws abortion after 12 weeks of pregnancy, describing this passage as the most significant win for social conservative in a generation. This is Huffington Post that is reporting this, y'all. That's a lot. That paragraph right there that I just read with all of you should put all of us in a position of what do we need to do? It's not too soon. We need to get out here and start educating people. We need to get an understanding. We need to get our hands on these bills, which I have my hands on that bill, so that we can read it, understand it, and see what's happening, because these things are coming full speed ahead continuously. Adrian says Ohio legislators are working to remove DEI from higher education. Yes, they are. I was looking at that. I've been following it. I haven't said anything out loud yet, just to see how it's going to unfold. Dr. Antoinette says too many of their grandchildren marching for rights and too many Black and brown people with degrees. There you go. Hello, somebody. That's what's happening, y'all. That's happening Tuesday. And that is indeed what's happening. Y'all, Associated Press is reporting that former President Donald Trump, yes, I said his name, pleaded not guilty on April the 4th to 34 counts of falsifying business records related to payments his company made to his former lawyer, Michael Cohen. Now, y'all, prosecutors say those payments were intended to reimburse and compensate Cohen. Well, there's so much that's happening here, y'all. Prosecutors have now sought a new order after Trump's arrest, citing that what they say is his history of making harassing, embarrassing, and threatening straight statements about people he's tangled up in legal disputes. Well, we now know, and let me just jump to that. We now know that E. Jean Carroll, who this month won $5 million in damages, is now seeking a very substantial additional amount. We're talking about $10 million now, in response to his insults on the CNN town hall program a couple of weeks ago. So we're going to pay close attention to that as well. I'm glad that she's taking a stand and saying, we're not going to do this here. We're not going to do this here. Y'all, yesterday, over the weekend, 230 mass shootings in 142 days. 3 people were killed and 2 more were wounded in a shooting in Kansas City, Missouri, early Sunday morning. Y'all, that marked the third mass shooting of the weekend that took it to 230. Now, y'all, also in Birmingham, Alabama, about the same time as the Missouri shooting, there were 4 people who were wounded outside of a bar, and another shooting in the same city Friday night at a birthday party that left 1 dead and 4 injured. Y'all, we still have to pay attention to that as well. Again, a lot of moving parts. Going back to Facebook, CNBC is reporting that Facebook's parent company, Meta, has been fined, as I said earlier, $1.3 billion over the EU user data transfer to the US by an Ireland Data Protection Commission for violating EU privacy regulations, and was ordered to stop transferring user data to US servers. Here's my question I have for all of you listeners and viewers this morning. Do you know what's really happening with your private information on these social media platforms? And if not, what are you going to do to get an understanding of what's really going on so that you are protected? What about your settings? Have you checked your settings on these different platforms? Where's your information landing? Is information staying on the server? When you think you have deleted things, what's really going on? These are more questions we need to even ask our legislators, our lawmakers, to find out if we are in fact protected. Yeah. And speaking of Meta, in Gadget reporting that Facebook releases open sources for AI platform capable of recognizing more than 4,000 languages and producing speech to text and text to speech in around 1,100 of those different languages. Also, y'all, AI overall is coming for entry level positions. Even with that, again, back to my town hall meetings, y'all. Even with that, what are we doing to make sure people and their jobs are protected? Soon, there'll be a lot of people out of work because AI is going to take over. And as AI is taking over, and this tell you, it's coming for your entry level positions that AI can do on its own. People are saying they know they're talking with AI when they're trying to book travel. They know that they're talking to AI when they're trying to get their Uber, whatever. So the entry level positions, customer service positions, customer service reps, those positions are becoming AI. If you have not seen the new documentary with former President Barack Obama and his lovely bride, Michelle Obama, talking about the working class people, you need to watch that. Lexi says, always read the terms and conditions. It's like a contract to your house. Read it carefully. Y'all, and she is 16-year-old telling us this. That's what I'm talking about. So, y'all, we have to pay attention. I know I sound like a broken record, but y'all, all of these dots connect, and this is what's happening. If we are not talking about it, if we're not having the conversations, if we're not out here educating people, where will we go with this? It's happening right before our eyes. It's happening. We're sounding the alarm, y'all. It is happening. Also, y'all, yesterday I reported on the 5 people who sued Montana about TikTok. Well, yesterday TikTok filed a lawsuit against the state of Montana over the state's newly enacted law banning the app come January 2024. A lot is unfolding. So I want to talk about empowerment. I want to talk about Black and brown businesses. And with that, we have a special segment from Devontae Goins of Unbossed. Stay tuned, and I'll be right back.
Show that focuses on our issues, our concern, our stories, our voices, and our perspectives.
It's less than 20 people. So everybody want to scream on social media about how Black Lives Matter, but no one's
And when you only report one side of the story, that's not reporting. Right. And that happens way too much in with our major media establishments in this town. It's like,
good morning, sir.
Good morning, Gail. How are you?
I'm good. How are you this morning?
Doing well. But before we talk about Black business and empowerment, I want to double back to a story you just talked to, a story about the mass shootings. You said there were 240 so far?
230 in 142 days.
That's crazy because when you were out and I was filling in for you, it was only 199, and it's only been 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's how fast it's happening. Yeah.
Jesus.
And we should be very concerned as a people, collectively concerned about what's happening and what are we doing to really make a difference. But Devontae, I'm afraid people aren't paying attention to that. It's like it's another shooting when we hear. We have become so there's just another mass shooting.
Right. So we're going to pray for that. But coming up this week here in the state of Ohio is the Ohio Black Expo. It's back. So the pandemic has happened. Now we're back here in person down in downtown Columbus at the convention center. Things are going to get kicked off this Thursday at 8 a.m. with a business conference called Level Up. And then the evening's going to wrap up Thursday from 6 to 9 with a Level Up Youth Summit. And Friday is going to have everything from the Golf Classic in it to one of my favorite, the state of Black Ohio. I'm sure some of you have heard over the past several years, the National Urban League have done something called the State of Black America Report. Well, at the State of the Black Ohio Conference, we're going to be putting together our own State of Black Ohio report, and I'm looking forward to that. There's going to be a health and wellness workshop, whether And there's also going to be several networking events and a big kickoff party. But then what we all have been waiting on, the festival. It is time to party. And I'm looking at the line up here. It's going to kick off with a parade on Saturday at noon in Genoa Park. And then there's going to be a ton of performances from 1:30 all the way until 11 o'clock. We're going to have some local artists from Trigno, the Caroline Inspires. And then also we are going to have a 50th anniversary hip hop trip to 1 second, everybody. Sorry about that. When technology isn't working, you got to pull out your IFB. So I'm pretty sure Isaiah may be going a little crazy because I just pulled out my speaker, but I was hearing a little echo, and that was just like throwing me off. But yeah, they're going to be having a 50th anniversary to Hip Hop Tribute. Kevin Ross is going to be performing. KRS-One is going to hit the stage at 9 p.m. And then our girl, I haven't heard her perform in forever. Sheila E. is going to hit the stage at 10 o'clock. And as if that wasn't enough, they're coming back Sunday to run it all back. And on Sunday, Gail, as I wrap up, I'm sure you're going to like this artist who hits the stage just right after church. He's going to allow y'all to get to church and get the word of God in. But at 2 p.m., Smokey Norfolk is going to be hitting the stage. And for any of you around the greater Columbus region, at 7:20 on Sunday evening, the Deal Breakers are going to be hitting the stage to wrap everything all up. Gal?
Thank you. That's my fault, Isaiah. My fault. Thank you. And if I can dig a little deeper with you for a moment, Devontae, what can we do in the different metropolitan cities across the U.S. to bring and highlight Black businesses, to have those summits, those discussions that support? What are some things? Can you share 2 to 3 things we could do to make that happen around the United States?
Definitely the first thing we all should do is patronize our small Black-owned businesses. I know it's hard sometimes because when we do, there's some incidents and things that happen. Well, the only reason that happens is because we don't have capacity and people buying from us, creating that Black Mecca. And so we don't get the deal and those experiences and things like that early on. That's number one. So support those businesses. Number 2, along with supporting them, let's begin to build a network work, because without building a network, it'll never happen. And so we need to build the network, and the simplest way to do that is connecting through Facebook or Instagram DM groups and things like that. You find one Black-owned business, put them in that group, then find another, and things like that. That's the second way. And I'll even throw in a bonus tip here for how to do it. Is a few months ago when we wanted to launch a small Black business segment where I speak and interview different small Black business owners and things like that, and founders on our show. I put up a post and people just start dropping names like crazy. And in a matter of 2-3 hours, I had over 100 different Black-owned businesses. So that's one way as well. And the third way, Gail, is simply just get out there and begin to patronize. I know I said it once and I'm going to say it again. We can't begin to build this network or anything if we aren't patronizing our own businesses. This is one of the things that worked so well in the 60s. You got to be willing to buy Black, and not only do you got to be willing to buy Black, you got to understand the power of the Black dollar.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Thank you. So until next week, thank you so much, Devontae, for bringing a segment here on News in Motion from Unbossed Columbus. Appreciate you.
Definitely. And before I go, Gail, if anybody wants to see any of the reporting we'll be doing live reporting over on the Unbossed Columbus page. And hopefully we'll be able to do an interview with KRS-One and Sheila E. and Smokey Norfolk too.
That'd be great. And what time is that?
I got in a couple. Reporting? We'll be reporting throughout the weekend. It won't be any set time. So just stay tuned to the Unbossed Columbus page or Devontae Goings page on Facebook.
Okay, so y'all go ahead and follow those pages and like them today. All right, thank you so much. We're out.
All right, thank you.
All right, so y'all, there's a lot that's going on with that. So let me go back to Misha. Again, I want to thank Misha for giving me the suggestion and ideas to bring this forward. So that was Devontae Goings with Unbossed here in Columbus, Ohio. Well, today we're putting this out here and you have an opportunity to submit your proposal to us. You can send that to an email, which is newsinmotionwithgail@gmail.com. We want to hear from your location, from your city, from your township. If you have a reporting journalistic aspiration and you want to come in and do a 2 to 3 minute segment once a month or so forth of what's going on in your neck of the woods, as Al Roker will say on NBC, the Today Show, we want you to do that here. We want you to be able to tell us what's happening with politics in your area. What are some of the events or summits or conferences that are happening in your area? What are some of the challenges when it comes to politics in your area? What type of bills are coming forth? All you have to do is submit that proposal. We're going to ask you, so you can go ahead and get this together now, a 60-second clip of something that you're doing with reporting that you would commit to your lighting, your microphone, and all of that to come along with it. Submit that and we'll start putting those in there. So we're real excited about all of that as well. Real excited about that. All right, y'all, statement from President Joe Biden on the budget negotiations. The ceiling is falling. Y'all, he says, and this is a direct quote from the White House, "I have concluded a productive meeting with Speaker McCarthy about the need to prevent default and avoid a catastrophic, that's wrong. It says avoid a catastrophic. I think it says, it should say something else. For our economy." He says, "We reiterate once again that default is off the table and the only way to move forward is in good faith towards a bipartisan agreement. While there are areas of disagreement, the Speaker and I and his lead negotiators and Congress people and our staff will continue to discuss the path forward." They also released from the White House this following: when it comes to healthcare, if the debt ceiling, if the debt negotiations are not reached. They call it the debt ceiling doomsday. This is coming out of Politico. They said healthcare experts warn that the impact of the U.S. breaching the debt limit could be stark for Medicare and Medicaid payments. Long-term breach could severely harm health systems, potentially making providers reluctant to see Medicare and Medicaid patients. They're talking about the Affordable Care Act, how patients may not be seen. Veterans Affairs are also on the table. It says one of the biggest impacts of sustained debt limit breach would be on the department's ability to keep its staff intact. So y'all, it's more than just what we see immediately. It goes beyond that. So we want to continue to watch this debt ceiling and what's going to happen with that. Now we're going to come to our inspirational message this morning. The inspirational message is wait. Just wait. Just wait. And the reason I say that today, we have to just wait. I think sometimes we're in such a hurry and we want to move so quickly through things that I believe God is calling us to a season of waiting. Just wait, be still, and know that He is God. It's so easy to become frustrated where we just want to jump and do something. We want to take action, but we have to pause long enough again to read these different bills that are coming out, to understand where we fit in and how the connection works. We have to do more than just jumping in and running with it. So a quick message today, but it's really about let's just wait. Let's just wait. Be still and know. Pray yourself through some of these actions and things that are going on. Yeah, I want to hear from you all. I might see you, George Saunders. Good morning to you. I want to ask all of you this question before we sign off today. As we're going into our third year, which is next month, June 22nd, started, it all began 2020 on June 22nd. As we go into our third year, we want to hear from you. The information that we're sharing, we want to hear from you how you think as a community we can become stronger together and work together to get some things done. We really want to hear from you. So again, our email is newsinmotionwithgail@gmail.com. Now, we're not asking you to say we should do this and this and this. We want to hear from you, like what impact has this made on you? Is it helpful? Is it not helpful? Are you ready to move on to something completely different? Do you want more tools when it comes to voting and legislation and bills? We've been talking about, we want to start writing legislation or suggestions for people to put on the floor in Congress and at the House and the Senate. Are you still backing us with that? We still need to talk about food insecurity. Is that our platform that we want to continue? We just want to hear from you. Has this impacted you at all? Or you're like, okay, I'm just done with this. I'm over news and motion. We really want to hear from you. I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, we cannot compete against AI. That is the truth. We cannot compete against AI. So we just want to make sure we're giving you, our listeners and our viewers, the information for you to continue to get up at 7:25 a.m. and hang with us. We really want to hear from you. So please don't ignore this plea. Again, we're not asking you to tell us what to do. We're just saying, does this make an impact for you, for what's going on in our country and in the world around us today? All right, y'all, I'm Gail Dudley. Until tomorrow. And by the way, if you did not get an opportunity to hear Deborah Johnson's podcast on yesterday, go and check out the replay. It was great. She was talking about thank yous. If you have high school students, graduating seniors, that's a great segment for them to listen to. A thank you for a text message is cool, but that handwritten card is even better. So check that out. Please check that out and share it with your high school graduating seniors. All right, y'all. I'm Gail Dudley. This has been News in Motion. Y'all know what I say. Stay well, everyone. And remember, make some bold moves. We're out.
Motion.